it normally does pour. Watch out as well for that turn 3. It might not be replicated just as well, but there normally is a lake that forms across there. And be careful of the curb on the inside of turn 3. I won't give anything away in the sprint, but just be careful, okay? We've all got that clear. Carl, it's a fantastic place to go racing. Plenty of undulation, plenty of titles have been won here, dreams have been shattered, and just plenty of absolutely brilliant races along the way.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, it's just a haven for iconic races, is the Brazilian Grand Prix. I mean, let's put it in the conversation. Last year, 2024, Verstappen, 17th to the race win in the wet conditions. Absolutely biblical drive from himself. 2021, Lewis Hamilton's almighty charge through Interlagos. 2008 even, in the 1990s when Senna finally won in Interlagos at his home race with gearbox problems. You could put so many different races and years into that conversation, but that's why we love this track to absolute pieces. In Creator Series folklore, doesn't disappoint either. I mean, you said it rains, it pours. Well, with psychological artillery at stake as well, when it rains, it most certainly pours on that front too.
It really does. I mean, it's a heck of a front two to really keep your wits about you. That is for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. Alex Gillen, I mean, absolutely smashed it. Of course he did. He had that analytical side. Was there any doubt that he could really snatch that pole position in a time and in a qualifying session that was no longer about who had the fastest time, but more getting to a target lap time that people didn't know? And if you did know, then it was in this cloud of other lap times that it could have been as well. Very hard to actually pick out which lap time you would need for that particular moment. But it's fair to say it has sizably jumbled up the grid. But we shall see how this all plays out when we go racing here at Interlagos. The formation lap is underway, and it is Alex Gillen who will lead the field down towards the first corner for the first time. You can see the majority of the field starting this one on the medium tyres. The exceptions to that, Formula Kai, who starts up in 4th place. He's starting on the hard tyres, so he's going to have to be looking a bit in his mirrors at the start of this race. Alex Gillen, our pole sitter, is starting on the soft tyres. Razin also on the soft, so both Saubers, they're not teammates, they can do whatever they like, but they're both starting on the soft tyres. Matt 212 looking to go longer into this race in 15th place. He starts on the hard tyres, and Safso, who set the fastest lap time of the qualifying session, starts down in 19th. I feel there's a cruel irony in it.
I couldn't agree more with you. Lolinoba immediately staking his claim of intent for this race, just scything through the pack. But while he does that, yes, the Brazilian Grand Prix, I mean, what a track. What a track in Creator Series, what a track in the real world. It does not disappoint at any opportunity. It's absolutely wonderful. Plenty of overtaking opportunities. We've got, of course, the Senna S with the DRS assistance as we look at Kareem 70's face cam as he's just assessing proceedings. Gillen saying overtaking is difficult here. Yes, it is at the best of times, but still a few places where you can make the moves matter. Senna S, of course, the run from Reta Aposta into the Cida do Lago, maybe some weldies at Ferradura, maybe a dive or two at Bico de Pato, setting you up for Jungsao maybe. Just a few places where you can get a bit creative. We'll see if Alex Gillen can hold track position. Usually in F125, clear air is king. Will that ring true today, Kieran?
Well, we're about to find out. Watch out, championship leader Meraki in 7th place. Tiamat Marduk, who made brilliant inroads in the sprint race, starts in 6th place. 2nd place in the championship is on pole position. Razin, who's 4th in the championship, he starts in 8th place. That guy Vince, who's 5th in the championship, starts in 5th. We got it absolutely spot on there. Well, we're just waiting for the last McLaren, I think that's Matt 212, to take his place on the grid then. And we're all ready for the Creator Series here for round number 7 here at Interlagos. Not many rounds left, but for sure, this should be a good one. It's the Brazilian Grand Prix in the Creator Series, and we count out now to 5 red lights. We go racing in Brazil. What are the starts like here? Good start from Alex Gillen. He's going to make his way down towards turn 1. Embratic draws side by side now with Concept heading away in towards the Senna S for the very first time. Tiamat Marduk up into 4th place and battling away with Formula Kai. Great start from the Aussie. He makes his way up into 4th place. Formula Kai will get the drag though down in towards the next corner, the 4th corner at Cida do Lago. As an Alpine they're looking for a move. Formula Kai thinking about it. There's a Haas of Lolinoba, I think, who's really got the bit between his teeth. He's up now back up into 11th place as Chesnoy trying to fight his way through the field. He started, I think, 9th in that one, but he's already down to P13 as we head our way through through in towards turn 6 and 7. Everyone's made it through so far, so good, but there's plenty of an armada making its way now through in towards the infield section. Vince then in 7th place has dropped a couple of positions there. Razin has managed to make his way up into 6th. Meraki, championship leader, knows that these moves at the start are going to be so important. We heard from Gillen that overtaking here is difficult. It's tricky, not easy to do. We saw that in the sprint as well, how dirty it is really going to affect the field. If you're leading it, it should be okay. If you're a driver behind, maybe not so much. But after the first lap's worth of racing, all 20 cars are facing the right way, and it's Alex Gillen at the head of the field.
Yeah, using the softer rubber to good effect off the start there. Concept 7 almost caught out by Fabio as Razin Shine looking to make moves and does make moves on the soft compound tyres. Clearly hold the advantage at the moment. Past Formula Kai he goes. Scorching start from Ben. Scorching start from Kareem 70 and Lolin over as well. The Mercedes man up ahead as we look at the Italian stallion looking to pile on the pressure on Meraki. He in turn trying to turn defence into attack. We're already being told Ben is egregiously down on fuel. We expect nothing less from the Australian sensation. Alex Gillen just trying to hold the margin here. He said it was difficult to overtake. We've seen one Mercedes car already send it into Vico de Pato as Safso just runs rings round the outside at Ferradura. That was a marvellous move from our PS1 Hagrid.
Yeah, it really was, and now up into 14th place. He might be sizing up Tukey here as he'll make his way once again around the outside. He's starting on the soft tyres and he's making them really work to good effect now. Up 5 places from where he started in P19 and now down in towards the final braking zone at Jun Sau as we make our way back onto the power once again. We've got Tukey right ahead of him. In fact, Tukey's made a couple of positions from this start as well, so he's had a brilliant start. Has Tukey there. Riding on board now with Ricky as he looks to try and find a way past Skyzy then as we make our way on towards the centre S for the 3rd time in this race. Razin sets the fastest lap of this race. There's plenty of drivers on the little deep in towards the first part of the centre S, but we should be able to get away with that as we make our way now onwards then towards the Retro Aposta back straight as we see the Red Bull there trying to make its way through. That's Tukey down the inside. He'll have the inside light heading in towards Desida de Largo, and he's got the move done then. Tukey up into 12th place. Everyone really has DRS on each other apart from Dark Fiber, who's fallen out of range of Chappers in that battle for 16th.
See, just as we rode on board with Ben there, how much the V-car was hurting in the dirty air. Just washed out wide through Ferradura. Safso making moves behind though. He's past Ricky 03. Again, Ferradura, the happy hunting ground for the Ferrari faithful. Very nice to see. But this is where Alex Gillen will try and put his theory into practice. On paper, he's absolutely correct. But on tarmac, completely different story. This is where Concept 7 and Co. need to set up the exit out of Jung Sao, save up the battery throughout the lap, and then burn it all. Expend the electrical energy down towards the centre S's as we head on to lap number 4. Ben gaining and pushing the battery. Fabio defends to the inside. Concept 7 moves into the lead in Brazil. Ben tries to hold it round the outside. Fabio leaves plenty of space for the V-carb driver who will have the second dose of DRS and the podium places to boot. Rasim Shai though, he's looking to make it double trouble in the world of the Williams man. Formula Kai might get involved as well as he tries to run it round the outside. Fabio defends diligently for the moment and looks for round 2 on the kick Sauber ahead.
Yeah, for Infratide, he didn't really have a good run going out of the 3rd corner then, the Curva de Sol, and he really hurt him on the run down towards the Desida de Largo as we ride on board then with Formula Kai. We'll get back onto the power out of the 9th corner of the circuit here, and you see Infratide going slightly defensive in towards the next corner at turn 10. Back on the power we go, we're descending our way through turn 11 and onwards then towards Jun Sao. Concept leads the way then. He's made the move on Alex Gillen, made it in through turn 1. Then it's Tia McMurdoch in 3rd, Razin in 4th, Pratic 5th, Formula Guy in 6th, that guy Vince in 7th, Meraki in 8th, Kareem 70 in 9th, and Lolinova rounding off the top 10. Lolinova has also had a good start in this race, kept it clean and got himself now up into that top 10. Battling to be done though, because Formula Kai is looking for a move on Infratic, but in turn has to be careful from the likes of that guy Vince. Meraki and Kareem are going side by side then through in towards the 3rd corner at the Curva de Sol. We'll see who manages to get out on top. I think Kareem has just about got a nose ahead there, and you see the Haas's, Meraki and Lolinova battling away for position. Lolinova gets a move up the inside. He gets slightly wide there. Was there contact between the two Haas's? They're not teammates. They're out for themselves, but Lolinova is up into 9th. And look at Meraki in the background there up the inside of Tukey.
Assassination between Lolinova and Meraki, the championship leader, sent spiralling down a couple of places as Safso could finally get his man He's been staring at the rear wing of the Red Bull for so long. Red is usually what makes the balls tick, and you know what? A rude shove to the outside from Tukey, and Sapso will really be seeing red. Rather appropriate given his car for this weekend, but he still hasn't got his man. He's got to sit behind Tukey for at least another lap. Kareem 17 looks to be a man on the move though. He's closing in now on that guy Vince, the closest gap within the top 10, and could it be another dive into turn number 1?
We'll wait and see then. Tim Marduk just not reminding Gillen that he's there. Not that Gillen needs any reminding whatsoever. Concept leads then from Alex Gillen in second. Tim Marduk then rounding off the top 3 as everyone's pretty much in DRS of each other at this moment in time. It is a 20-car train, all with DRS at this moment in time. So pick your battles wisely and make sure you look after your tyres, your battery and your fuel in these early stages. We've got Formula Kai who's on the hard tyres. I think he's the highest hard tyre runner. And I did say he had a lot of looking backwards here to do, but there is Sapso once again trying to move up the inside of Tukey then. He's had to get it at turn 7 there, but he has got the move done. And Sapso now moves himself up into 12th place. Sapso knows he has to make those Red Bull soft tyres work to an absolute T in these opening stages. And up into 12th place he goes. Kareem and that guy Vince are having a battle here. We're on board with Tiamat Marnik as he makes his way now through in towards Junsao. And back onto the power we go then. Gillen right ahead of him. So important for the championship for Tiamat Mardik to try and find a way past Alex Gillen. He might just have to bide his time here. Gillen will have to look after those soft tyres he's on. Whereas Tiamat Mardik is on the mediums here. We head our way onwards towards the centre S as Gillen looks for it. He lunges down the inside. There's contact between himself and Concept there as Tiamat Mardik right on the rear wing, right on the diffuser now of Alex Gillen. That's a warning sign if ever I've seen one there. But Gillen launching it from miles back, not even in the same postcode as Concept. But there goes Tiamat Marduk. He's trying to go round the outside there, going through in towards the Desida de Largo, but no way through. And that's opening up opportunity for Razin here to try and find a way through, but he can't quite capitalise.
Gloves well and truly off then. Had to properly throw the defensive shapes to keep Tiamat Marduk behind, who's practically shaving his diffuser off. Coming out of the centre S's, unbelievable battling here. Concept 7, well, would have been caught by surprise, really. I imagine it was completely accidental. Team radio, and yes, indeed, that was not the intention from Mr. Alex Gillen. But Ben, look at how close he is as they head into Junsao for the 7th time this race. And we both touted him, Kieran. We both said that he would be right at the sharp end, at the right top of the tree. And he's trying to make that particular theory a reality. DRS, wide open, onto lap number 8. The Ferrari man still leads. Ben burning the battery. Doesn't look like Alex is going to fight this one too hard. So down the inside goes the wonder from down under. And are those mediums just starting to just ignite into life?
Yeah, I think so. It might be a combination there. Alex Gillen might have locked up those tyres and has to cool down the tyres for the time being. But of course, all the time he's in the traffic, he has to manage that to a T. Lolinover, meanwhile, is up into 8th place. There's a battle there. Kareem having to go round the outside of Skyzy to try and make a move for 9th place. Doesn't quite work out. But that is Lolinover, who's up into 8th place now as we make our way through towards turn 6 and 7 there. As all that Mercedes runs a little bit deep. Meraki finds a way down the inside now as we head our way through in towards turn 8. Back on the power down in towards turn 9. Kareem will have back the inside line. He'll try and get the power down, but now he'll be on the outside as we head our way through in towards turn 10. Might find a better drive out of this corner though, but it looks like Meraki's got the move done, and championship leader moves himself now up into the top 10.
Good battling there all the way through. Look at this, Kareem, an average collector of Ford Model Ts. Hence the 70 in his name. It turns out, though, this fact is not true. Well, there you go. We've all been swindled. The Red Bull round, though, and that's Scotty design with a yellow flag. Briefly, he's back on his merry way out of Junsao. But that's another way confidence is dented. You saw it with Kareem 17, was fighting up with that guy Vince for the top 7, but he's been shuffled down 3 places. That's the way the pendulum swings, in such a horrible way. But the top 5 now, you can see them all in your picture pretty much. In fact, second down to 5th. Tiamat Marduk, Alex Gillen, Razin Chai, Infratic, all pretty much line astern. Ben has eyes on only one prize though, and it's the Ferrari ahead of him.
It is indeed. You can see, Ben loves to run a car that's under-fueled. He absolutely relishes it, in fuel saving towards the end of the race. He gambles on those safety cars happening so he can really just get back into positive fuel delta. We saw at Singapore how he came very, very close, left it till about 2 to 3 laps to go before he was able to get back positive on the fuel delta. By that point, he was pretty much slightly in a race of his own. The Scotty Designs, by the way, is out of the Brazilian Grand Prix, and it looks like he's gone straight on at turn 9, and his safety car has been deployed. Now then, what's the decision? I would assume Alex is going to come into the pits here. TM Martin into the pits. Concept stays out. Now that could be a critical move here, but you've got pretty much all but Formula Kai and Concept all diving into the pits to get themselves a new fresh set of boots, but Alex Gillen has got a 10-second penalty for a collision with Razin. 10 seconds, that's massive for championship standings here. Hard tyres go on for Razin Shah.
Also, can I just say, did Razin overtake Alex into the pit lane? 'Cause I don't remember them being that way round. So that's very, very interesting. Concept saying, what do we do here? You're committed now, my friend, it's too late. But you are P1 though, still. Is the Ferrari man playing it on the old mediums. Formula Kai, no reason he should pit. Of course, he's on the hard compound tyres. Matt 212 then goes into P3. Tiamat Mardik emerges from the pit lane. That's the first of the cars with a fresh set of Pirelli boots on in P4. Razin in P5. He's got a penalty next to his name as well. So both Kick Saubers in the wars here, and for that by extension, two championship frontrunners in the wars at early stages here at the Brazilian Grand Prix. We knew it could throw up some spice. It already has.
It already has. I'd love to see what the penalty is for Razin as well, because we saw it was 10 seconds for Alex. I wonder if it's 10 seconds as well to Razin, and it is. So I think your theory's right here, Carl. It's a case of they both collided. Razin managed to get himself ahead, and what's probably happened is they've collided, then been reset in the pit lane, and then they both got themselves 10-second penalties for colliding with each other, and Concept saying maybe we should have boxed.
He is about a minute and a half too late on that particular call, but you know what? I appreciate him for noticing. Meanwhile, what do both Kick Saubers do? I imagine probably at least one of them is going to box and rid themselves of a 10-second time penalty, which would be extremely banterous if they actually got another penalty for speeding into the pit lane. Razin doesn't make that particular premonition come true. He's in to get rid of his penalty. So is Alex Gillen, and therefore, I believe, normal car performance order in the Kick Sauber department will be resumed. They are slapped to the back of the pecking order, and, well, the civil war from the sprint race very much continues.
I wonder how long this safety car is going to stay out, because of course if you're Alex and Razin, you've obviously got 10 seconds if you're allowed to serve them, of course, if it lets you serve them, but we'll see how they all get on, and will they be allowed to catch up to the safety car? What sort of tyres will they jump onto? I think they've both emerged on the hard tyre, so will they go back onto the mediums? Well, we know Alex hasn't used the mediums yet, but we shall wait and see. I'm sure we'll have all the stories and whatnot as they all come out then, but top three have not yet stopped in this race. Concept, Formula Kai and Matt 212 all staying out, so they occupy the top three spots, but you already see the radio message of Concept coming through. Maybe he already has regrets that he wasn't quick enough to react there coming into the pit lane. In fairness to him, he didn't have long to make a decision, but could that come back to bite him in 60 laps time?
Quite possibly. Definitely in the short term, he'll feel the effects of it. I mean, it's the song and dance of F125. When you have tyres, even if they are only 9 laps older, you are going to be in extreme turmoil. Meanwhile, that guy Vince, surprise package apparently, used to be the session drummer for McFly. How about that? How about that? Just another set of fun facts, along with the collection of Model Ts that Kareem70 has been garnering up over the years. We are under safety car here at the Brazilian Grand Prix. Concept 7, Formula Kai and Matt 212 are in the top 3, visually on for a podium. However, they are yet to box. And like you say, Kieran, that could come back to bite them in a big, big way.
I do hope that that guy Vince has got some sort of time machine seen to the year 3000. We're going to wait and see. But Razin Shah is saying,
royalties.
Yeah, it could be that. But Razin says that Alex should have expected me to try and overtake. Well, they're not teammates. You should. Sorry, Gareth is having a go because that was busted. That was the point. I like it because you're busted now. There we go. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, Bradford and Alex obviously are not people, although they're in the same car. So it's a driver-only championship for this season. So it could be civil war between them. But there we go. But yes, Concept probably will be feeling that a little bit later on, unless there's another safety car, which could possibly save him a little bit. But we need the race to go on for a little bit longer before that happens. But he's got pretty much all hard tyre runners behind him. So yeah, it should be an interesting one, that's for sure.
I completely agree. Meanwhile, safety car in this lap. TK has been saying, our man on the ground in the pit lane, he's saying McBusted, I guess. Well, if you actually check their leaked files, and I don't know if you want to go and investigate this, if you check their leaked files, it just says something about order number noise.mp3. Listen, I don't know what that means, but regardless, we are going to get ready to go racing here at Brazil. Lap number 12, Concept 7 will lead us away. It's up to Formula Kai to try and read the restart. However, Concept 7 puts his foot flat to the floor, and we are back racing here in Brazil, and it's a rapid restart from Tiamat Marduk, who times his run to perfection, already down the inside, and he could get 2 for the price of 1 very, very quickly, because Formula Kai with a little lock-up into the centre S's.
Well, that's no surprise. He's on the fresher tyres now. He's just going to have to try and make his way through the field and dispatch the likes of Kai and Concept up ahead of him now, as Tuki now makes his way up into the top 10, battling away with Kareem, but Kareem flies his way back through down the inside then as they make their way through the Destino de Largo. Riding on board now with Tiamat Marduk as he follows Formula Kai. Now through in towards this mid part of the track. In turns 8 and 9 we go. Concept still leading the way, but on those medium tyres he started the race on. Put it under the safety car. Sapso, meanwhile, is in 9th place, meanwhile. And look at this, he's looking for a move down the inside of Skyzy then. Gets the move done, gets the power down, moves up into 8th place. He's on the medium tyres. He started on the softs. He's going very aggressive here. There's Kareem, who takes full advantage there of the door left open by Skyzy. Moves himself now up into 9th place. And Skyzy's all out of shape here because now he's under pressure from the likes of Tuki. Who's got through. Meraki, the championship leader, is also right on the back of the Alpine here. And you see just a little bit of battling, maybe a little bit of wheel banging that just upsets the car a little bit, and already for Skyzy he's lost about 3 positions. This could be 4 with Meraki trying to loop his way round the outside of the second part of the centre S and through in towards the curve of Sau, and that was Ricky getting all sorts of out of shape there and managing to hang on to it.
That was a scintillating save from Ricky, who just caught out by the speed. And Pratic, though, goes through on Matt 212. He cooked in the Williams at round number 2. And so on the second lap of post-safety car racing, he's up to P4. Excellent stuff. Love this from Safso, though. Hyper aggressive. A bit of contact, though, sends him wide at the exit of turn 7. Scotty saying the wall needed a hug. I gave it a hug. Ever the loving creature is Scotty designed, by the way. Lap number 14, Safso just sends it down the inside at Pico de Pato, not without making contact with the diffuser of that guy, Vince. If he can just hold the traction round the outside, he'll be feeling the effects of dirty air. He'll be feeling wounded and bruised, though, with a bit of wheel banging on the exit. Can he plant the power down on his medium compound tyres? That question remains to be answered. Into the wall, though, goes in Pratic. Massive moment. There's a conglomeration of cars between Tiamat Marduk, Formula Kai, and the Williams, who comes off way worse in that exchange.
Yeah, and didn't pit. I think he was gambling on a safety car and he was going to stay out there, but it hasn't happened. It hasn't been deployed. So he's going to have to go all the way around for another lap just to get a new front wing on. But Formula Kai then in 3rd place then. There's Lolinoba, who's trying to go and make moves on Safso, but Safso round the outside is trying to take that position from him. And here we go then, now climbing our way through towards turn 5 at one of the narrowest parts of the track here. Safso moves himself now up into 6th place. That's Safso from 19th on the grid. Tuki, meanwhile, trying to get a move done on Kareem here as we make our way through in towards turn 8. Now in through turn 9, they're still running side by side. Red Bull versus Mercedes here as they now make the climb up towards turn 10. Again, Tuki down the inside of Kareem, who gets the power down. They'll now have the inside line for pretty much the rest of the lap now, will Kareem. Down in towards turn 11, now in towards Jun Sao, starting the 3rd sector. They're still running side by side here, but Kareem gets the power down, still has that inside line, and I'd still say they're running side by side still. There's Tiamat Marduk, who goes through to take the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix here in the Creator Series. But how about that battling between the likes of Kareem and Tuki? Still they battle through in towards the centre S. Still they make their way through. And in Fratic speeding in the pit lane, I think I know what the next message is going to be. It has Fratic retiring from the race, on board with that guy Vince, who looks to try and find a way through. It past Matt 212, moving towards the Vecino de Largo, but no way through. Matt 212 yet to stop in this race.
Yeah, the shimmy and the shake from that guy Vince was sort of caught in two minds about whether to go really aggressive to the inside or go to the outside and try and have momentum in his favour. Keep an eye though, as Meraki is just line astern with Tuki. He's going to try and make his way through here in towards the left-hander, and he does comfortably before they've even made the corner. That guy Vince versus Sapso, as Sapso is just hustling and harrying the V-car round the track. Team radio from Fabio, angry strongman noises. Well, it's nothing that a good bench press can't cure. As through the final corner on lap number 16, that guy Vince will keep the DRS. It's elbows out stuff here, Kieran. This is absolutely electric stuff.
It really is, and Savso just getting up close and personal with that guy Vince's rear diffuser there, going through towards turn 10. I don't think Vince would have appreciated that too much. But Kareem then, Lolinova locks up here. This could be an opportunity for Kareem. You can see he's locked in here now as we head away through the Curva de Sol. Onward then towards the back straight, the Reto Aposta, down towards the Ciudad de Largo. But you see there Kareem potentially just managing that battery just a little bit at this stage. And starts to fall a little bit behind on Lolinova. But we shall have to wait and see as we make our way up the hill then. As there's battling going on up ahead as we head away through towards turn 6 and 7. That looks like it's the case of Vince Safso and Lolinova, who are all really getting into a bit of a fight here at this stage. Vince holding on to that position, but Savso here is trying to make his medium tyres work to really good effect. He'll have to go the long way round this time in towards turn 10. Runs deep into the corner, but can't quite get the move done. Does he get a better run through 11 and down towards Jun Sao? Not this time, but we make our way through in towards and up the hill we go. We're approaching that sort of quarter of the race part, and we'll have to hand over to our very own TK from the pit lane for a bit of a mid-race report. How are you doing, Tom?
I'm doing very well, thank you very much. It's been an interesting race from down here in the pit lane. I've seen quite a few cars make their way through, two of them not making their way back out onto the circuit, as we saw with Scotty Designs and Infratic, both of them unfortunately taking early showers, one of them in a more rage-induced moment rather than the other. Scotty obviously wanted to give the wall a bit of a hug. There's been lots of chatter behind the scenes about tyres and what exactly people wanted to do under safety cars. Nobody was quite aware what the correct answer was. And of course, there is a bit of sprinkling of rain on the horizon. Our radar showing roughly around lap 35 to 39 is where we're expecting the downpour to come. But don't worry, folks at home, it is only going to be light rain hitting your virtual racetrack, so all of our drivers should be able to make it through until that downpour starts to come. But the battling's been fantastic. All the drivers are looking in good spirits. And I'm excited for the rest of this race.
Thank you very much, Tom. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's great battling going on. It's just you having a conversation there with us as Sapso trying to make his medium tyres work. So if that's the case, then Sapso has to make his medium tyres run at least another 18 to 20 laps before we can even think about doing anything else. And of course, how much will the rain change up the track? We see then Vince has got a run on concept here as he'll make a move and look to go right round the outside. Doesn't even need to make a move round the outside. He's got the move done going in towards the corner, but concept runs into the back of him there, loses stability in the car, and that is going to make sure that he is easy picking surely for Lolinova. He'll get right tucked up into the slipstream here. You see concept is dumping the battery to just make sure he just avoids any momentum loss there. He's done well to really just make sure that he stays in that battle, but now that's a chance for Lolinova. Maybe the battery surplus there perhaps. There's Kareem as well, who's looking to try and find a way through against Lolinova. Whoa, big snap from Lolinova there. Held onto that one, but that's showing the pressure of Kareem and Sapso right behind him. It's all well and good you can put on the attack, but you've got to make sure you are really doing the motions yourself as the Mercedes gets it all out of shape. Kareem there trying to hang on to that position. This is brilliant stuff.
Race of splendid saves, the race of brutal battling, and ladies and gentlemen, it's not even lap 20 yet. Tiamat Mardik will cut the beam. He's got 2 seconds worth of a gap. We're watching Kareem 70, who's got a bucket of popcorn as he waits for Lolinova to get past Concept 7, who actually is going to peel into the pit lane. So the Ferrari man throws in the towel on his first set of medium tyres, and that of course will lose him an absolutely horrendous amount of time. It's that 3 wide. It's a turn number 1. Alex Gillen trying to go through. both Chappers and Dark Viper, still they run. Side by side do the Mercedes and the Kick Sauber. And Chappers wins out that particular exchange for now, but it's the run down towards the Cida do Lago. Red Bull up ahead also fighting. Tuki versus Razin right round the outside. Goes Razin up to P10. Both Kick Saubers here on a mission. One thing to keep an eye out on when people are battling is particularly turn number 4, the Cida do Lago. We just went through it there, but the outside curb on F125 is lethal. It's a bit of a sticky one, but if you turn on the overtake too late there as well, you can drop the traction in an instant. So expect a lot of hyper-aggressive defending just to send their competitors into a disadvantageous part of the track.
Let's have a look at Tuki as well. I think he's got a bit of front wing damage on the car, which might be why he's struggling a little bit. I'll have to see if TK can confirm that for us with Tuki. Front wing damage potentially. It's on the right-hand side there of the car. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see what he can do. Might work out that he's quicker in a straight line, but he might be struggling through the corners. And Razin is right now on the back of Skyzy as he makes his way back in towards that DRS zone. But Razin and Alex both bit between their teeth. They know that scoring points here is going to be so critical, considering that TM Marduk has got a 2.2 second lead over Formula Kai. I have to say, actually, Kai and Matt, they haven't pitted. They didn't pit under the safety car. They're still on the hard tyres they started this race on, and they're doing a good job. That guy Vince is 2 seconds back from the both of them. I guess they could try and work together. If they are waiting for rain that could be on the horizon, they'll just have to try and eke those hard tyres out as much as they can. They give themselves a really good track position towards the end of this race.
I'd argue a great job even, just to extend the compliments even further. 9 laps older tyres and they're able to extract the pace just like this. Similar lap times, Tim at Marduk on the last lap of 1:12.1, Formula Kai only a 10th off, Matt 2:12, about 2 tenths off. That guy Vince was a 12.3, pretty much identical time to what Matt 2:12 did. So not exactly reeling in the competition as quickly as he might have wanted to, but I mean the gaps are ridiculous. The train was all the way down from P4 down to P17. Dark Viper's just disconnected from it. But even so, what a train of cars we have. And we've seen inklings of what the battling is already going to look like. And that's without the added pressure of that final flurry of laps.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, Kai and Matt will be wanting the likes of Vince and Lolinover to battle with each other and go side by side, because the more they do that, the more they cost themselves time. And even though the likes of Vince, Lolinover and Kareem and Sasso, they're all on fresher tyres than Kai and Matt, if they can't use them to good effect whilst they're running side by side, it's a case of, you know, they're not using those tyres to good effect, especially those that are on fresher tyres, about 10 lap fresher tyres, 9 or 10 laps give or take, fresher tyres at this point in the race. And it turns out, well, Concept was on the medium tyres, so it was going to be a big challenge for him to get to any sort of pit window. We're looking at sort of rain in the next 10 to 15 minutes potentially, and we don't know if that rain is going to stick around for the rest of the race. So that lies in part as well. The sort of drivers will have an idea of how much it will rain. They'll have an idea of maybe if they need to jump onto a set of intermediates, but clearly Kai and Matt here want, you know, that intermediate to really shine on through, as there goes Lolinover down the inside of Vince, then through in towards the first part of the Centre S. He's not hanging around anymore. He got the DRS, he got the move done and moved himself now ahead of Vince and up into 4th place. Vince has the DRS then on the run down the Reta Aposta and down to Cida de Lago, but the Haas stays ahead. Lolinover 4th place now, and really a man on a mission here. He's got 2 seconds to the car ahead. What can he do from here?
Who knows? That's the query. We'll have the answers, I am very sure indeed. It's just trying to become acquainted to this Haas car. Of course, that guy Vince, not exactly making an impression. Formula Kai with some great pace, by the way. Matt 2-on-2, being towed along somewhat, but still, nonetheless, very consistent, solid pace from Kai on the older tyres. Now we'll see what Lolinover can apply. He's only caught realistically by about 2 tenths of a second on this lap as well, depending on what he can garner up through Jung-Sao as well. But that guy Vince well within DRS. Kareem's got a good exit also out of that particular corner. So now it's the drag race onto lap number 24, and look at that, pulling to the inside is Lolinover to try and break the toe. Aggressive braking of the slipstream from the Haas driver. That guy Vince therefore not poised and in position to try and throw a move to the inside line, as just Ben is stretching his legs out front. Only needs to be a couple of tenths of a second ahead of what Formula Kai is doing. Of course he's got the fuel to worry about, but at the moment the V-Carb man completely in control.
this moment in time. Yes, 3.4 second lead for Ben at the top as Alex Gillen makes her way past Ricky for 12th place there. As there's the Aston Martin of Dark Viper and the McLaren of Chesnoy Gaming battling away for 16th place in the race. They're just outside of the points, but you never know what could happen up ahead. Right on board then with Matt 212 as he's looking with Formula Kai here. I wonder if there's been some sort of unspoken alliance between these two as to try and work together so that Lolly Nova doesn't catch them as quickly as possible. We saw this from Matt in the sprint earlier on today, that he's just bide his time and make the right move at the right time, and it got him a position at the end of the sprint race, which I'm sure he was absolutely delighted with. Now though, sort of the shoes on the other foot, he sort of has to try and work with Formula Kai, not battling too much so that Lolly Nova can't catch them on the straights. They'll catch them through the corners, but it's the straights here with DRS that maybe they can extend that gap a little bit. It will also help in terms of Kai and Matt's case if Vince battles Lolly Nova. That's the last thing Lolly Nova wants, because again, that gap has just sort of stayed at that 1.8, 1.9 seconds at the moment. So these two, Kai and Matt, are doing a great job so far. How long can they keep it up?
We shall find out. I agree with you completely. They're doing a fantastic job out there. Still, Lolly Nova not making a remarkable impression. Only a couple of attempts in the background. Kareem 17 looking for a move into Ferradura. Throwed the shape of the car to the outside line. Tried to throw the line of that guy Vince off kilter, but no. The RB man completely on piste at the moment as we are in lap number 25. Kareem likes to send into Bico de Pato though. Is he feeling it this time? Nowhere near close enough on this occasion. Of course, we still got Safso and Meraki in this train as well. They're just waiting for any one of the drivers ahead to slip up as well. Lolly has made much more of an impression on this lap though. About half a second gain to the two cars ahead, and that is critical for his race and everybody else's race as well, because Ben can just control his pace at the moment. As long as he knows that the new tyre runners aren't able to get past as Dark Viper and Chesnoy's battle continues to rage on behind. Meraki maybe even could be making a move. Yes, to the inside goes the Haas driver, but has to concede. Maybe might have got Safso out of that critical DRS range. I think he was still in the detection point, but no slipstream being picked up. Is there an opportunity into the Cena del Lago? The answer is absolutely not. Meraki not able to make the move at the moment, but Safso with the aggressive strategy, perhaps just beginning to lose touch, and Meraki making the most of it.
Yeah, Safso, we saw him really aggressive, looking to try and make moves very early in the early stages of this race, but yeah, it was going to get to a point where the tyres might start to fall away. The delta is sort of equalised to those medium tyres, the hard tyres of everyone around him. Definitely went for more aggressive, had to go more aggressive. He started 19th place, so he's now up to 7th place and doing a fine job on that as well. Kareem, we ride on board with him in towards Junsao and get back onto the power as we climb our way through towards that almost triple left-hander, 13, 14 and 15 through the Sabida the boxes, and make our way on this towards the start-finish line to start another lap worth of racing. Lap 27 here in the Creator Series at the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's Tim McMahon who leads the way by about 4 seconds ahead of Formula Kai, and Matt 212 rounds off the podium. Lolly Nova though, I said before that the gap had sort of stabilised at that 1.9, 1.8 seconds, but Lolly Nova is just about teetering on DRS range from Matt 212, and Matt himself saying, who'd have thought I'd be telling Kai to be the one to hurry up? But Formula Kai and Matt 212, they've thrown that potential alliance straight out the window. Matt 212 round the outside at turns 6 and 7 and makes his way up in towards second place. Now when he's got that position, what he has done is allowed Lolly Nova to get that DRS within a second. They'll look to try and scamper away and scamper up the road as much as possible. They're on older tyres, Matt and Kai, than Lolly Nova, and now Lolly Nova has the DRS, which will not only help him defend but to help him try and close up further to Kai and Matt.
I must say, it was a really fabulous move into Ferradura. A complete commitment from Matt 212. I mean, after that sprint podium, he's just got a little bit of a swagger about him. Get on with it, Formula Kai. What are you doing? We've got pace to burn. Speaking of which, it's about time they did. Because while Alex Gillen peels to the inside, I imagine, to get some cooling air over his engine and to make sure he can actually attack in a straight line. This just got even more interesting in the dynamic. Matt 212 now in that faster McLaren, able to stretch his legs. Formula Kai now will try and protect himself in the DRS as much as possible. Tim McMahon, by the way, the fuel situation, I'm sure you're wanting to know at the moment. Brazil not the most aggressive track in terms of fuel burn, but he's got 0.92 under at the moment. That's his situation, so saving a decent amount as we head very quickly towards the fulcrum point of this race.
Yeah, of course, he would have been helped out massively with that safety car as well. So the safety car is pretty much half the lift-off and coast he needs towards the end of the race. So yeah, he'll absolutely be happy with that one. With a 5-second lead, he'll be even happier with that gap between himself and Matt 212. Formula Kai then has got Lolinoba in his mirrors. The Haas that have been doing so well at keeping at arm's length. Well, that arm has really much receded. It's down by their side now, as Lolinoba closes and closes in the slipstream now. Formula Kai does have DRS from Matt 212, but Lolinoba here is already trying to fill the mirrors and reminding Kai that he's there on the inside. But look as well from that guy Vince in the Racing Bulls right behind. He's looking to try and pick up the pieces if anything should go awry. Making our way now on towards the Retta Aposta. And that guy Vince in the slipstream, but no way through there. This Formula Kai now getting down the inside of Matt 212. That wasn't in Matt's script, but Formula Kai makes his way back up into second place with a move down at the Descida del Lago.
You're not fighting it a huge amount either, was Matt 212. It's interesting just hopping around, seeing the battery situation between all the drivers. Kai, of course, in the defence, saved loads of battery up, had about 20-25% more than what Lolinoba had. So the Italian stallion not being very efficient with his electrical energy usage. The question is, what does Matt 212 have to offer as well? When he was in the DRS of Formula Kai, he was saving battery pretty well. So we'll see what kind of defence he can put up as well. Lap 29 of this race, we're highlighting a man who is on a recovery mission. Done decently well so far as Mr. Alex Gillen, but currently P12 sat stuck for the time being behind the Red Bull of Tukey.
Yeah, has sort of found his spot at the moment in the queue and can't really do anything about it at this moment in time. But that goes for a lot of drivers at the moment who are right in amongst this queue, down in towards the Senna-S for the 30th time of asking through the Curva del Sol. And he's then towards the Retta Aposta as Vince over the radio saying it's getting a bit grey. Well, we're sort of thinking rain in about 10 minutes time. Kareem, meanwhile, has got the move done on Vince then. So Kareem now up into 5th place, and we can see there's side-by-side battling. There's Safso up the inside there of Vince as we make our way through the Ferradura. And Vince has got a battling on his hands, but he's lost out to Safso in that meantime. Safso using that wily experience, that magic underneath him of a PS1 Hagrid, and moving himself up into 6th place.
Ever since he escaped from Azkaban, he has been absolutely unleashed as Safso. Has always managed to just capitalise on people losing momentum in battling. Using that experience, he poises the car in the perfect place every single time when there's battling ahead. So brilliant stuff from our very own PS1 Hagrid. Lolinoba did get the move done on Matt 212 as well. So his next target's Formula Kai. 6.3 seconds to gap, a yellow flag though towards Sau. And I don't think it was Concept, it might well have been Alex Can't Drive, who's had a bit of a moment. Concept 7 eroding that gap at a rapid rate of knots as we head through the Curva del Sol for the 31st time. Tiamat Marduk controlling the pace out in front. Meraki though looks to be a man on the move. DRS wide open, and despite all the flappage in the world, he can't make a move on that guy Vince. Not yet at least, who's just the V-carb up ahead. He's trying to just find some mental fortitude. Round the outside though, Kareem 17 tries to go. He's looked at it a few times, not quite going to happen on this occasion. To the inside though, tyre smoke billowing from the front as he just sends it on the McLaren. They're side by side now through the left-hander, and it's the send he has been just trademarking this race into Bico de Pato. Much more academic for Kareem 17, who's looking to try and complete his mission to make it 2 wins from 2 tonight.
Moves himself up into 4th place and in a good position there. With Matt now down to 5th place and has to look over his shoulder now. He's got Safso, the wily fox, right behind him now as we make our way onwards towards that start-finish line for the 32nd now time of asking down towards the first corner. Tiamat Marduk still leads the way then. Formula Kai in 2nd place. And then it's really all behind Formula Kai is where all the battling is as Safso gets a bit wild on the rear end there. That guy Vince might have an opportunity. I think it's I don't think he's close enough to take advantage of that one. But Safso right has the aiming reticles all over Matt 212. Matt right now is on 31 old 31 lap old hard tyres. And there is Safso once again looking for a move up the inside, and Matt 212 tries to hang it around the outside. He runs a little bit too deep, runs out of adhesion, and Safso then through in towards the 8th and 9th corner, tries to get that momentum on his side. He gets the power down out of turn 9 and moves himself now up into 5th place. And I think Matt is just really struggling with the adhesion here now on those hard tyres. He's begging for the rain to fall soon.
Yeah, great move from Safso once again, just throw the nose up the inside. And well, we say track position proves pivotal at the moment, sitting in P5. Did he get the DRS? He was very close to being out of that conversation, just about. Gets the benefit of the rear wing flap down the main straight. Matt 212 just hollering over to the outside rather, just to let him know he's still there. Big lock up from Safso. Lock-ups are plenty into turn number 1, but it's imperative that they get the track position, particularly with rain not that far away now. Towards the Sena do Lago we go. DRS for Matt 212, no DRS for Safso, so shows it to the outside, goes to the inside. Matt 212 retaliates brilliantly, but Safso going for a sensational switchback. It was the inside of Ferradura last time. He goes to the outside of it this time. No way he's going to do it there, not the line of least resistance, but sends it down the inside of the right-hander anyway. Matt 212 shuts that door off completely, but Safso's charge might be up in more ways than one. He is completely out of electrical energy.
Yeah, TK giving us the report there that Safso is just completely out of battery. That's why he struggled there. But Safso will be able to regenerate, and we also have DRS on Matt as well as we head away on board then with Vince. He's chasing down Safso through in towards Sau, and now through towards that triple left-hander of 13, 14 and 15. We'll see if the Ferrari has DRS, and Safso does, but Vince is all over the back of him here. He'll look to the right-hand side of the track, and with a little bit of DRS and a little bit of tow from Matt 212 up ahead, Vince finds himself now moving up into 6th place, with Safso down in 7th place and Meraki now in 8th place. We watch on with Meraki, who now will try and use that to full effect. Safso clearly struggling here. Now Meraki trying to go down the inside as we head away towards the Sena do Lago. Through on the inside, they still run side by side, but the Haas of Meraki does make its way through into 7th.
There's the outside curve for you, Safso. It could get even worse in his west, just to try and get up to the top of the tree. No battery to play with. That just demonstrates the importance of having a little bit of awareness of your electrical output, as Razin Chai looks to try and go round the outside. Safso shuts that door off, though. Another opportunity opens up into Bigo de Pato. Safso defending every single inside line as much as he can. It's a furious fight being put up by the Ferrari man, but it's only a matter of time, surely, before the resistance is broken. Razin Chai has got it all to burn now. Down this main straight. Kareem 17 quite close to lolling over, not quite in position to make a move. Razin, though, seeing the mental fortitude of Safso crumbling over the previous couple of laps, might have an opportunity. Into the center S's we go. Takes the narrow line. Down the inside, a little bit of a contact. Carbon fibre confetti erupts, but Razin Chai, providing he was behind at the DRS detection point, and he was indeed, nevertheless it wouldn't have mattered. Gets it off the car ahead, and is that 2 for the price of 1, I hear? You bet it is! 2 green machines. Front rings round the Scarlet machine, and Skyzy could even get involved, and he does! Sau pulls off the track. Issues occurring for the Ferrari faithful.
Issues indeed, yeah, pulling off to that right-hand side of the track and all the way now down into P13. Meanwhile then, Lolinova still on the back of Kai. He's got Kareem all over the back of him right now as we make our way through in towards the final couple of corners, heading our way towards Junsao. You don't normally see a move here. That's when I normally get egg on my face when someone does make the move, but no way through for Kareem there. And now Lolinova looking over his shoulder, looking in the mirrors here to see where Kareem will be as they open DRS on the run down towards the first corner. We are about halfway through this race so far. It has been absolutely brilliant to watch. Through and towards the center S we go for the 36th time worth of asking, and then through and towards the Curva del Sol. Lolinova still in 3rd place. Formula Kai doing a great job so far of hanging on to those tyres. 35 lap old hard tyres. He started the race on those tyres. He stayed out under the safety car and has been rewarded so far with 2nd place out on track. But again, just like with Matt down in 5th place at the moment, it would be a case of He's hoping, they're both hoping the rain will arrive sooner rather than later. And with TK in the pit lane saying we're expecting it roughly soon, within the next couple of laps, I think their begs to the weather gods might just be answered shortly.
Absolutely, an excellent effort from everybody so far. No less Formula Kai and Matt 212, still on those older tyres and still holding on to this particular 4-car squabble for what is P2 in this race. Kai doing just enough, saving his battery extremely intelligently. Lolling over with no response. Kareem as close as he tries to get. Lolly has plenty of straight line speed to boot, so nothing he can do either. It's a bit of a stalemate at the moment as we cross over to lap number 37. Our man in the pit lane saying it's crunch time for the rain, and Lolling over knows it. Shows the nose to the inside. It's now or never in the quest for track position when the rain falls, and it is. There goes Kai though on the curve on the inside, and that will be Lolling over through. Kareem shows the nose to the inside. They run side by side down towards the Ciudad del Lago, and the currents are ever in favour of the Mercedes man. 2 and 3 change hands. Formula Kai shuffled down to P4.
That was Formula Kai losing the back end there through the Curva do Sol, and that just cost him 2 positions, just like that. Doing so well. It's not over yet though. The rain is starting to fall as TK, our weatherman down in the pit lane. I'm going to rely on him for the lottery numbers. If you've got them, TK, let me know. But meanwhile, Razin and Alex then making their way, they're making light work, making their way through after what was a bit of a disastrous start for them both. 8th and 9th place so far, all of them, and TK says the lottery numbers are all the 6s. Great, there we go. Write it down. Tim Martin's into the pits, by the way, as it looks like the track has pretty much deteriorated over the course of 4 kilometres. Racing is in, and pretty much I think the rest of the field are going to follow, but Lolinova leaves the braking too late. 10-second penalty for Lolinova, and he'll have to serve at his next stop. Tim Martin then getting the intermediate tyres on. How much will he be held? He won't be held at all, but Alex Gillen stays out. He's rolled the dice. Maybe he knows something, but we don't. DRS is now disabled. Chesnoid gets a 10-second time penalty, and this is a case of rather he had to stay out because Razin was also pitting in, so he's decided to go the long way around, if you like. Look how much he's sliding though. He's going to lose out big time here.
That was a huge slide. We know the Sauber has pretty rearward weight distribution anyway, but that was absolutely horrible. Look how much he has to slow down. Alex Gillen has been completely caught out by the weather vane, and all of his efforts will be in vain. A yellow flag in Sector 1 meanwhile, as that's a Ferrari really struggling. That's Safso, who I'm not going to ask, has spawned on the outside of turn number 3. Well, his yellow flags anyway, slowing down just to let his teammate through. And well, he appeared for Inters at the beginning of the last lap, and he might well have cooked with that decision. But interestingly, what we are also being told at this critical phase of the race is Tiamat Marduk is just chomping and chomping 10 after 10 on Alex Gillen, who will peel into the pits with no doubt tail hanging between his legs in a metaphorical sense. We hear the race is going to end in dry conditions.
Well, now that should really roll up the dice, shouldn't it? There is Alex Gillen, who makes his way into the pits. And there is Kareem and Lolinova battling away for position. Of course, DRS now disabled. And there is Lolinova just hanging on to that position. Kareem up the inside then at the first part of the ZRS. Through the second part, Kareem looks the way round the outside, dances his way through now into second place through the Curva do Sol. And Kareem now up into second place with 8.3 seconds up the road between himself and Tiamat Marduk. The question now remains is, can Kareem really close that down? He'll still have Lolinova on the back of him for the next couple of corners, for the next couple of laps for sure, and we'll see what he can do through these next few corners. But Formula Kai and Matt 212, obviously they started on those medium tyres. Formula Kai, I think, started roughly in 4th place, but it's Matt who started in 15th, staying out on those hard tyres under the safety car, rolled the dice, and they've come up double 6s.
Couldn't agree more with you. It's Kareem 17, just trying to eat into the gap of Tiamat Marduk. Good news for Kareem 17 is he has plenty of fuel in the car. No need to try and fuel save. Tiamat Marduk still has to do that. The good news for him, though, is that with these slower cornering speeds, with these elongated braking zones, he will have an easier time of saving that fuel. So it's not all bad news for the RB in first place. We highlight Rasin Chai though. Here we go, retirement from the Grand Prix last week. was, oh crikey, is 7,605th DNF on this game. Now that is, well, first, I don't know whether to call it commendable or catastrophic. Either way, impressive work, my friend.
Nice job, everyone who's in an open lobby with him. That's all I'll say about that one. Razindo, 6th place at the moment, 2.6 seconds back from Matt 212, with Meraki in 7th place. This is a huge race for TMF Malik. If everything finishes up like this, I mean, we could be looking at a new championship leader heading into the last couple of rounds of the season, which is absolutely insane, as we'll see. I think the pit lane's calling on Safso to give us a wave. Go on, Safso, give us a wave. There you go. That'll we brought his graphic up just very, very briefly there, but there we go. There is Safso, who is struggling out there. There we go. There you go. Give us a wave, Safso. Go on. We know you want to. Go on. We're not leaving. There you go. There you go. Come on, Safso. You can still do this. There's still the win on the board here. 31 to go here in Brazil.
Oh, we appreciate you, Safso. Welcome in. I'm sorry it's not gone your way, but we appreciate you very much indeed. Still keeping within a second of Alex Can't Drive, by the way. Just saying. There's plenty of things to go right in your favour here. What's also going right in the favour of one driver, though, Kareem 7T, ladies and gentlemen. He's just gained about 0.6 of a second to Tiamat Marduk on that last lap. Yes, he doesn't have the saving to do. Yes, he can just put the power all the way flat to the floor. But he is absolutely flying out there in the wet conditions. He's just chomped another half a second out of our race leader. Could it be the doing the double? The dream is on for the Mercedes Maestro as Chappers and that guy Vince get to work.
Yeah, they do. And Kareem, yeah, he's up and down on that gap. 7.3 seconds the gap is now as Kareem locks in, focuses now. These are two drivers, Tiamat Marduk and Kareem, who are looking both for their first win of the season in a race. Of course, Kareem, we saw him take the sprint victory earlier on today. This will be for a Grand Prix victory, and both of them could be making their way to the top step of the podium. It would be their first time for either of them this season. Lolinova, meanwhile, one last time out in Mexico, of course, got the Inter's pole and the fastest lap of the race, pretty much. Didn't set a foot wrong, but you see Kareem here absolutely chucking the car in, and it is just loving it out there. Kareem's loving these conditions. He's built up that gap to Lolinova and looks to be set on the charge. But if it's a dry end to this race, I do wonder when will that happen? When will that all play out? Alex Gillen, who obviously had to pit in a lap later to avoid the double stack and to avoid absolutely getting shafted in the pit lane in terms of being held, has now managed to make his way back up into 10th place with Skyzy and Tukey right on his tail. Maybe Skyzy fancies another move. Gillen goes defensive towards the inside line. Skyzy will have to go the long way round, but here's Tukey as well, chucking his nose up in the mix there. But Gillen manages to hold on to that position, holds on to P10. Skyzy, meanwhile, and Tukey still battling away. And Gillen says, good luck. Good luck battling with you for P11. Skyzy and Tukey still bit between their teeth. Tukey's managed to get up into P11. Skyzy in P12.
Good battling there. For a moment it was 3 wide into turn number 1 and I held my breath quite a lot. But, interesting, Lolinova, he might have got the 10-second time penalty, which is playing on his mind a little bit. But Formula Kai and Matt 212 showing some great pace in the wet conditions as well. Speaking of great pace, Kareem 7T, a gap that was 7.5 seconds last lap, is now 5.8 seconds. He's absolutely flying. He's gained half a second in the first sector alone. He then gained almost 7/10 in the second sector alone. He is relishing the rainy weather. He loves the wet weather conditions. But if he's gonna make hay before the sun shines, he's doing a great job at it so far. I also, by the way, just to highlight, that was the most disgusting flick I've ever seen on this game into Bico de Pato. Forget about brakes. Essentially, the entire steering wheel was doing the work.
Well, Kareem is just loving this. He's absolutely relishing these conditions here. 5.5 seconds from himself and Tiamat Marduk then. Looking at their last lap times there, Kareem was 1.3 seconds quicker than Tiamat Marduk. Not only that, but he's the only driver on that last lap who set a 1 minute 19. Everyone else is sort of in the mid 1 minute 20s, high 1 minute 20s. So Kareem is absolutely flying out there. He's relishing this.
Could not agree more with you. I'm just trying to get an idea of what Ben's fuel situation is, and he's not saving. He's hardly saving any fuel at the moment. So this is on legitimate pace at the moment. I could understand it if maybe he was doing some fuel saving and trying to just make sure he wasn't caught out by the end of this race. But this is literally balls to the wall at every single opportunity. Kareem taking less of a gap out on this lap. It's 3 tenths and 2 tenths in the first 2 sectors respectively, but he is well on his way. Speaking of which, the ebbing and flowing between Formula Kai and Matt 212 and this man we're highlighting right now, Chappers. This is all very interesting stuff. It's this critical exit here, out of Jung Sao. Meraki struggling to get the power down. Chappers having the car supremely planted underneath him. Hasn't got the DRS assistance though, and can't quite make manoeuvres at the moment.
Not at the moment, of course, but everything to play for. Lap 44 of this race. I wonder if we've got our pit lane maestro in TK down there who wants to come and have a chat with us about... I hope you're standing somewhere virtually dry, TK. That's all I'll say on that matter.
Oh, hello. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting that. I was stuck out right in the middle of the pit lane, and I haven't brought my umbrella. But I'll tell you what. Someone that would be good to bring in for a half-race recap is the wonderful Tom Wilkinson if he's around in the next couple of moments. But it's been a really interesting one from behind the scenes. There's been troubles and trials and tribulations for all of our drivers, and I have found just down here in the pit garage is Mr. Tom Wilkinson, so I'll bring him in as well to join in on this conversation.
Hello. TK, I'm disappointed that you didn't let me come under that umbrella with you because the conditions are... not very nice, are they? But to be fair, Brazil bustling once again with the action, isn't it? Chaotic start, and we have to look at the driver out in front, don't we? On a 23-race winless drought stretching back to April the 9th, 213 days ago. Tiamat Marduk very much in the groove, assisted by the Anarchy that we saw striking down the Sauber garage, colliding in the pit lane, hobbling themselves with twin 10-second penalty. And then that scramble for second place that unfortunately ended the day early for Fabio as he went pirouetting, trailing down the barriers. But we do have a race in our hands, don't we, gentlemen? The two out in front, light years quicker than everybody else. Green 17 in a league of his own at the moment. The sprint race win, he found the formula again. The first time was so nice, he might have to do it for a second time. 3.3 seconds, the gap between the leading duo. And so many storylines at play, aren't there? Is it Ben getting back onto the winner's step for the first time in over 200 days? Or is it Kareem 17 winning twice in one night and reasserting himself as one of the top dogs in the Creator Series? Very, very, very interesting.
I've just realised we weren't watching on board with Ben there for a considerable amount of time. I was trying to figure out who we watched because I was watching Ben's camera and then watching the car input and then watching back to the camera. It just wasn't linking up, and then it only just dawned on me that Ben has in fact not been driving a Sauber for 45 laps at this Grand Prix. It was in fact assuming Gillen or right at the time. We are now back on board with Tim and Marduk, and I can tell you what, we are back, I believe, with our beautiful commentators in Carl and of course the absolutely wonderful Mr. Kieran McKinley.
Thank you very much. Tom Squared, always a bit of drama, always a bit of ruckus whenever they're around, but it's good ruckus, we love it. Kareem, meanwhile, has got the gap now down to less than 3 seconds between himself and Tiamat Marduk, and what would be the better storyline? Well, we're about to find out, give or take a few laps here, as Ricky and Chesnoid Gaming are battling away for 13th place in this race. Ricky gets himself ahead, Concept trying to find a move as well, but there's Chesnoid launching it down the inside in towards the first part of the Senna S. Through the second part, he's sort of on the outside here, and then he gets the inside line through in towards the Curva do Sol, but there is Concept, who's managing now to pick up the toe from Ricky and moves himself now up into 14th place. So this scrap for sort of those last point paying positions is really heating up between Ricky, Concept and Chesnoid.
Got to deal with everything today. Weather, chaos, controversies, a schizophrenic live feed. Well, at least it isn't a driver's girlfriend's onto the grass though. Goes Chesnoid Gaming, does really well to pick the car back up from underneath him. But just another chink in the armour of confidence that you just cannot be wanting to deal with. Tiamat Marduk and Kareem's gap, 2.6 seconds now, Concept 7. Looking to Ricky 03. See if he can continue scything his way through. Ricky, though, in turn, catching up to M Sky Z in the Alpine. Alex Gillen has managed to bolt away from this group behind. He let them battle and do their particular squabbles. He's now on the back of Tukey in his particular mission. And now, finally, apparently, DRS is disabled, which is rather interesting. The FIA with the awareness of a vampire bat.
Nah, to be honest, I think DRS was already disabled. I'll be honest with you. But hey-ho, I think that just means the track condition has changed, I guess. Formula Kai, meanwhile, is dropping down to 4th place here. And this is why, because Lolinova and Formula Kai are running side by side. There's contact between them. Formula Kai has to go to the outside of the circuit. Matt 212 had pretty much front row viewing for that. He now sees them to move up the inside, takes full advantage of that, and gets the move done then. Through now they go in towards the turn 8, turn 9 section now. And we make our way now upwards towards the turn 10. Kareem and Lolinova will be loving that, especially Lolinova. He'll want Matt 212 and Formula Kai to be battling away. It gives himself a little bit of breathing room in this mid phase of the race. But Formula Kai now has to worry about Razin Chai, 4th place in the championship, and really closing in on the 2 ahead of him. Also closing in on the race leader, Kareem 17. 1.9 seconds now between himself and Tiamat Marduk. And you see Kareem's driving style. He's absolutely loving it out here. Just kicking out the rears. Why not? It seems to be working for him. Again, looking at the last lap times here. Tiamat Marduk, 1 minute 20.2. Kareem, 1:19.5. He's still the only driver lapping anywhere near in the 1:19s. All other drivers are really lapping in the mid 1 minute 20s.
Yeah, just absolutely ridiculous pace from Kareem, who is setting the timing sheets ablaze with this pace. Will be within 1 second by the end of the lap if he continues going at this rate. But of course now he has to deal with the other element, the dirty air side of things, as he gets closer and closer to Tiamat Marduk. 2 old adversaries, of course, battle furiously for the title in season number 9, went all the way down to the final round in Vegas, where this man we're highlighting here came out on top. This season, been a bit of a slug out for the man currently in the Mercedes car, but he has got a real outstanding opportunity. And yes, he was briefly within a second out of Jung Sao. That confirms it. Kareem 17 firmly sitting in the slipstream.
It really is, and we're just checking in with our pit lane there, our very own TKWS, who predicts that lap rain will stop on lap 56 to 58. So there you go. Kareem now really closing in onto the back of Tiamat Marduk now. As you said, Carl, less than a second between them. And we'll make our way onwards then towards the Reto Acosta, down towards the Descida del Lago, the 4th and 5th corners of this circuit. Catching is one thing here. You see the 2 different driving styles really coming into play here. Kareem now right in the back of Tiamat Marduk as they make their way now on towards Ferradura for the 49th time in this race. They built a very healthy lead over Lolinova, Matt 212 and Formula Kai. Razin Chai also within that battle for the last place on the podium at this time. Then you've got Meraki and Chappers in a bit of a battle for 7th place. You've got Tuki, who'll be trying to make inroads to try and catch Dakmo Vince. That's a battle for 9th place. Ricky and Concept still sharing the same bit of track between each other. That's a battle for 12th place. Keep an eye on Alex Gillen as he'll also try to close in on Tuki where he can. SkyZ, Chesnoid and what should be Dark Viper very soon should be battling away for the last couple of points in this race. Our focus though is on the lead of this race. Kareem then making his way through that triple left-hander and onwards then towards the start-finish line, onwards towards the first corner. The SNRS once again, but he backs out of this one, tucks back into that little bit of toe from Tiamat Marduk up ahead. 22 laps remaining of this Brazilian Grand Prix here in the Creator Series, and Tiamat Marduk does lead ahead of Kareem. But look at Kareem's run now through in towards the Costa do Sol. Is this the chance he's been waiting for? I think he'll back out of it on this occasion, but take nothing away as he gets a good run. If he gets a good run through Descida del Lago, he's got a great chance here of trying to get Ben up and towards the next couple of corners through turn 6. He looks for the move up the inside. Can he try and find it there? He gets side by side with Tiamat Marduk for the lead of the race here. Down in towards turn 8 they will go then. Through Veradura they were side by side. They are still side by side now, heading our way through in towards turn 9. Kareem will try a bit of the up and under here to try and get a bit of traction here. Switch to the inside in towards turn 10. Tiamat Marduk able to hold on to that position for now, but as they make their way now powering through in towards the likes of turn 11 and down towards Jun Sao, this is a great scrap between them.
blockbuster entertainment from Kareem 17 and TM Marduk. You can tell also, I've been watching their onboards just to get an idea of what kind of conundrums they have to deal with. Kareem clearly has the car underneath him. That's no surprise. He's well within the slipstream. He's closer than he was last lap. And will it now be the move to take the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix? He shows the nose. He's bold and brave on the brakes. Still, Ben Daly holds it as hard as he can, and he does hold on for dear life to the race lead. Remarkable defence from Tiamat Marduk, blistering pace from Kareem 17, and at the moment it's all equalised here at Interlagos.
I'll tell you what, Ben does know how to defend. He makes it very, very difficult to try and pass. He will be driving the widest racing ball that Interlagos has ever seen. As we make our way now through Ferradura, we ride on board now with our race leader in Tiamat Marduk, as he looks to try and keep Kareem behind them. These are two drivers here who so far this season have not had a feature race win, have not had a Grand Prix win so far this season. Kareem has broken his duck with a sprint win so far this weekend, but who can break their duck for Grand Prix victories? Will it be either of these two? As we have 20 laps to go, 21 and a bit if you're picky. Tiamat Marduk leads the way now, down in towards Sau for the 51st time. Back on the power we go then, and Kareem, who was taking some really good lines, he was really comfortable. He's going to find it tricky to try and pass Ben Daly, but he'll be relishing the challenge, and Ben will be relishing the challenge of holding on to this lead as much as possible. Lap 52 here in Brazil, as Tiamat Marduk still leads from Kareem in second place. Lolinova in third place. Matt 212 still on the back of Lolinova in that battle for third place. Only less than half a second between the two of them as they make their way now on towards the back straight, then on towards the Retro-Aposta and down towards the Cida del Lago. You see Tiamat Marduk makes one move to defend and one move back to the racing line. Well within the limits there, but loses that back end slightly, slides his way through. That is an opening for Kareem that he doesn't need two invitations to, but maybe he hasn't yet RSVP'd to it.
Maybe not quite on this occasion. Ben did get a warning on that previous lap though. He's one away from getting a track limits penalty, so just has to play it a little bit more careful. I did that in Imola in Season X, and trust me, it completely changed the way I drove for the rest of the race. You're almost going at 90%. It's a really, really weird sensation, but you have to do it. You don't dare lose that amount of time when there is such success at stake. Like you say, Kieran, both of these two looking for success. Down the inside of Sau though goes Kareem 17. Looks to apply the traction as much as possible. And for now, it is in his court. The ball is firmly hustled and bustled in his court. But Tiamat Marduk's just going to burn the battery instead. They remain side by side towards turn number one. Brilliant battling from these two. When will it end? Kareem 17, super late on the brakes. Signed, sealed, delivered. It could be 2 from 2. He's well on his way now.
I'll tell you something, I think the rain has stopped. So this should be a pretty interesting thing. I'll have TK with the umbrella down there to confirm, but that looks to me the rain has stopped here. So how long will it take for the track to dry out? Kareem though does lead the way ahead of Tiamat Marduk. He's been sizing that move up for the past 2 or 3 laps. Tiamat Marduk did a good job in defending, but Kareem manages to find that way through, and it was a move that had to be set up all the way at Sau and wasn't completed until we got to the Costa del Curva del Sol. So really had to be calculated in that move, but Kareem takes over the lead. Ben now in second place, still trying to keep on the back. I'm sure now he'll try and see how Kareem is so much quicker on those laps. But keep an eye on those lap times. The lap times are coming down. I mean, even if Kareem and Tiamat Marduk were still battling away for position, Kareem's last lap 1 minute 18.9. So the track is improving out there lap after lap. And it's just a case now, if there is no more rain, when is the crossover? Who's going to roll the dice? Perhaps Tiamat Marduk here might actually relish being the second car in the queue. In essence, he can do the opposite of Kareem when it comes to putting on drive tyres. It looks like Alex can't drive. He's into the pits. I think Alex will probably put on as he makes his way out of the pit lane. He's put on soft tyres, and we see now drivers making their way into the pits, and it's another 10-second penalty for Lolinova.
That makes the job much easier for Matt 212 then, because not only is Lolinova going to have to serve his 10-second time penalty, mediums for Matt 212, it's the alliteration stations he's visiting in the McLaren car. But Lolin Ober, not only does he have to serve that 10 seconds, he's waiting there for what feels like an eternity in the pit lane. Razin, therefore, is going to get him as well. But he has another 10-second time penalty on top of that as well. I'm not surprised that Kareem and co didn't box on the end of that previous lap. They're 14 seconds ahead of Formula Kai. They have basically got all the time in the world to make that all-important decision. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2 that looks to be Alex can't drive. Just getting out of the way of a bunch of cars and sensibly doing so here on lap 54. The assessment on this particular lap, the time's last lap, but low 1 minute 18 for Kareem 7C, low 18 for Alex Gillen. Everybody else in the high 18s as Skyzy's disqualified. Skyzy is disqualified for blocking the pit lane. And that spells a premature end to his race. That'll be it. The Alpine Ace is going to take no further part in this. Both our race leaders, though, peel into pit road.
Here we go then. Who's going to be able to get the tyres on? It's hard tyres for Kareem. What does Tiamat Marduk put on? He'll come out behind. It also looks like hard tyres for Tiamat Marduk as well, so they'll make their way to the end of the pit lane, still battling away with each other. But look at Kareem lighting up the rears on pit lane exit here. It's so damp on the pit exit, of course, but look at this. It's a good way to get heat into the tyres. It's a very easy way to get everyone on the edge of their seats there. Very narrow pit lane exit, but Kareem does re-emerge ahead again, ahead of Tiamat Marduk. Then there's Tuki, who stayed out for another lap on the set of the intermediate tyres. So too has that guy Vince, so too has Alex Gillen. But once again, because Razin was ahead of him, he didn't want to pit on the same lap as him. So once again, it's a case of Alex has to stay out for another lap, whether he likes it or not. There's Meraki, who's rejoining into the race and ahead of Matt 212. That was crucial for Meraki. He's needed to get some points on the board, some much needed points on the board, and getting ahead of Matt 212 was absolutely the best thing he needed.
Ben and Kareem are sliding, absolutely sliding loads as they make their way round. You can see Tuki has just chomped into that gap. The track's still too greasy for the dry tyres. Not that it makes an immense amount of difference to Kareem and Tiamat Marduk at the moment, but this is an absolutely crucial point of the race. Meraki got the overcut, staying out on the inters. Tuki and co are going to get even more of an overcut. Child's play as the Red Bull makes his way through into P2 and could even lead this race. That guy Vince peels into the pit lane, but there's a suggestion that even then it's still too early. Tuki was only 0.3 of a second quicker than Kareem in the last sector, but 0.2 quicker through the middle sector. This is a crucial stanza of the race.
It really is, and obviously the obvious tell that the crossover has happened is when DRS gets put back online. As far as I see, it hasn't been put back online yet, so Tuki here has the upper hand. Now, I do wonder, when the changeover happens, when that crossover happens, how badly will those intermediate tyres react? So far, though, so good for Tuki and Alex Gillen. Gillen stays out for another lap, mainly because, I think you're right, they feel that the Inters are still the tyres to be on. They're still the tyres in play here.
Bit of a charge up in terms of overall pace. I think Kareem's managed to get some temperature firmly locked into his tyres. He's just extending the gap a tiny bit. Loses a 1/10 on the exit of Bico de Pato, though. Still a little bit greasy, but there's the confirmation. No wonder he was starting to love life on the dry tyres. DRS now enabled. Clearly, it's deemed the conditions are good enough. So Tuki and Alex Gillen actually have played an absolute blinder in terms of their intermediate tyres right at the end of the lap. Now they peel into the pit lane, DRS just being re-enabled, and who knows where they'll emerge. Meraki got out ahead of Matt 212. Could Tuki and Alex Gillen take the pair of them here?
Could do indeed. We'll keep an eye on how it all plays out then. Alex Gillen and Tuki into the pits to put on some dry tyres then. Should take them now to the end of the race, and that's medium tyres for Alex Gillen. He's going more aggressive in this latter stage of the race. Hey, it could work out. You know, it's a drying track. You need the grip to begin with. Lots of drivers on the hard tyres to try and get themselves to the end, but Alex has decided he's going for the medium tyres and will rejoin side by side with Chappers here. Chappers has some DRS, so Alex Gillen, well, still rejoins ahead of him in 7th place, ahead of Razin Chai. And through all their tirades and fights among this race, that's a huge move for Alex Gillen here. He's got plenty of time to make up, but quite a few laps to do it in. 7th place so far for Gillen.
Formula Car with a 3-second time penalty. That's our first track limit specific time penalty in a long, long time. So everybody behaving very well indeed. It might even have been a triple warning for Kai, because we're seeing on our telemetry, he's got a total of 5 warnings. So an instant penalty, but there's Alex Can't Drive also getting a 3-second time penalty, just to make me eat my words even more here. Skyzy obviously leaves the session, I don't blame him. Meanwhile, I think TK has some news on Skyzy's retirement. TK, what can you tell us?
Oh, I wasn't expecting you to throw it over there. Once again, unprepared down in the pit lane. But unfortunately for Skyzy, it was a bit of an accident as he came out of pit road. He was on the soft tyres, got them fired up, or at least thought he had, and ended up spinning around in pit exit. Faced about 90 degrees compared to where he was meant to be pointing. But unfortunately, as he was blocking the pit lane, he did get Deers Hugh. But Kai, you got a safety car.
Oh, two secs, TK. We've got to cut back here. It's Alex Can't Drive who's facing the wrong way, and it is a safety car that has been deployed here. Well, Alex Can't Drive makes his way back into the pit lane. Then Kareem, who'd built up a really good lead there, is going to have it wiped out here. Now, here's the thing. Who is currently on a set of intermediate tyres? I was just going to see who was. I think everyone had just pitted in to put on a fresh set of boots there. One in particular, just having a look back, I think 9th place was, so that guy Vince had only pitted in a couple of laps ago to put on those fresh set of tyres. Hey, this could be a chance for drivers to go back onto a set of medium tyres. I mean, Kareem and Tia McMurdoch maybe could, but they would sacrifice track position. Kareem, no, he's staying out then. And Tia McMurdoch says we never get it the easy way. No, and that's why we love it here in the Creator Series. Tia McMurdoch also stays out. Kind of feels like then no one's going to come in and change tyres unless they've really got nothing to lose and just want to roll the dice.
I'm a bit surprised they didn't try and roll the dice and peel into the pit lane. They had such a gap to Formula Kai behind. But actually, maybe going onto a set of mediums, I know Kareem definitely has another set, I think, of medium tyres. Don't quote me on that, though. He might well have had another set, though, to try and utilise. But if that, I mean, even regardless, I mean, everybody's staying out, like you say. No real impetus to switch off the tyres, which are relatively new. So we will take that. We will absolutely take that. The order remains unchanged then. The only thing, of course, that changes is now that the order is completely compressed up. I will eat my words quickly. As Murray Walker said, I am very much mistaken, as it turns out. The fact Kareem 70 has 2 sets of hards probably means that was him choosing the harder tyre allocation, which means no extra medium tyres for him, and possibly even no extra mediums for Mr. Tia McMurdoch either.
Well, there you go. Problem solved just as quickly as it arose. That's the quality, the professionalism you've got in Car Baranek here. Now, be honest, I love him more in the box. He's a great driver, better than me, but my goodness, can he take a bit of data, take a bit of Murray Walker with his quote as well, and just give you what you need. That is my goat. There you go.
One goat recognises another. I appreciate you, mate. 59, lap 59, here we go. I was going to bring up the conversation of intentional safety cars because it is a talking point here in Creator Series. However, to burst the bubble of the rest of the grid, intentional safety cars, once this one peels into the pit lane, they won't be allowed anymore. Of course, 10 laps towards the end of the race, once it crosses over that 10-lap threshold, no intentional safety cars can be caused. And because we're sat behind Bernd Mailander here at the Brazilian Grand Prix, we can have no more of those. So it is going to be all-out action all the way to the end of the race.
Well, hey-ho. Tia McMurdoch then, I wonder. I mean, he's going to be pretty much screaming. I mean, TK saying there that he had Ben screaming in his ear. I assume about the race, but yeah, he'll be in second place there. Formula Kai has been brought back into this, but has a penalty to serve at the end of the race then. That's going to bring Meraki back into this. Now, Meraki's had a quiet race, but there he is in 4th place. Our championship leader really needs to use this safety car to full effect. Really close up, really just, well, in a sense, close up the points he might have lost in the early stages of this race. Now he's in 4th place. Now he has got a really good chance of getting some much needed points back into the running. Dark Viper, meanwhile, is currently running inside the points. Currently 15th place for Dark Viper as he makes his way through, just trying to catch up with the safety car at this moment in time. What would be a great start for him. He makes his first race start since the season 8, so it's been a while. And Dark Viper, if you could let us know if you've got the blonde mullet still, it would be greatly appreciated. We need the hard-hitting journalism here at Creator Series. We need it. Let us know. Is the mullet still there? Oh.
Can't beat journalism like it, ladies and gentlemen. You don't get coverage like this on Sky Sports. Lap number 61. It's great to see Dark Viper back, by the way. It's Burnt Mylanders on the radio. He says, seriously, you need me again? As if he doesn't get paid enough in Creator Series. Well, guess what? You are getting the bag today, so well done you, my friend. Like I say, great to see Dark Viper back on the grid. He was a notorious F2 name, of course, when the series was still a thing here in the EA Creator Series. Back on F1 24, Season 8, the last Formula 2 series. He was a pretty successful name in that particular department, but great to see him back on F1 25, back racing with us in the Creator Series. Meanwhile, we're highlighting the Australian sensation, and a good thing we are as well, because of course, this safety car means one critical thing for his race. He can save all the fuel he needs.
Yes, he can. So he won't have to worry about that anymore. I mean, either that or he can absolutely burn through his fuels. Whatever he likes at this point. It will be a case of Kareem has some sensational electric pace in the wet, and we convert that once again to the dries. We saw that pace in the sprint. The safety car is in. It's a late call, but it's the call that's been made nonetheless. Kareem now will manage the pace then up towards the start-finish line, and we will have 10 laps to decide the winner of the Creator Series Brazilian Grand Prix. It's going to be a tasty one. We could have a new championship leader. We could have all sorts of drama heading into the final couple of laps. Meraki, our championship leader, is in 4th place. He's kept his nose relatively clean, and now he's got a great chance of getting a good and very much needed points bounty towards the end of this season. Here we go then. We're just waiting for Kareem to restart this race. He's weaving left and right. When will he go? I think he'll leave it as late as possible, don't you? He weaves left and right. He's gone for it now. We're back racing underway then. Kareem makes his way now up towards turn 1. But look at Formula Kai riding and trying to get himself side by side with Tim and Martin. There's contact that's been made between them. But Kai can't quite get the move done there. He loses the back end as well, and that was so critical for Tim McMartin not to get caught up in that kind of battling. He's already lost 8/10 to Kareem there. Meanwhile, we see that guy Vince, who's trying to make up some positions. Chatler's now down into 10th place there, and that guy Vince on a set of soft tyres. He went onto those soft tyres right before the safety car actually did get deployed. Watch out for him in the latter stages of this race. He should be a very interesting and very feisty driver to watch in the closing stages. Razin goes up the inside. Sorry, that's Alex Gillen up the inside of Tukey there, and makes his way up through the order. That's 6th place for Alex Gillen. Once again, he's looking for a good points haul here at this moment in time, as that guy Vince right around the outside here, through towards turn 10, and then out of the Bico de Plateau, down in towards the final couple of corners then, as we head away through in towards Jung Sao, and Razin now up the inside of Tukey then, getting the power down, trying to draw side by side, and then ahead is the Sauber, but Tukey manages to keep himself ahead for now. That's Razin Chai still in 9th place at the moment. Kareem sets the fast lap of the race. 1 minute 10.9, and the Red Bull. Oh, look at the switchback here from Razin. Down the inside he goes. There's contact between the side pod of the Red Bull there, but we head away through the centre S, and there's still side by side through the Costa del Sol, and still they run then on board with Molinova, who's in 10th place, out on a set of those soft tyres. He needs to make them work. He needs to make some moves, but he can't quite make it there. But he's got front row tickets to this absolute blockbuster fight between Razin Chai and Tukey.
How on earth was there not an absolute plane crash between Razin and Tukey? I saw how late Razin broke into the Cena del Lago. Molinova goes down the inside. Contact made with Tukey, but on those soft compound tyres. Now the pendulum swings in favour of the Haas car. The inside firmly in his favour for Pico de Pato. Again Tukey rudely shoulder barges the side pod of the Italian stallion, but there's no stopping the gallop of the Haas car. Ricky again aggressively sends the nose to the inside behind as well. So we're heading into this critical final phase of the race. Tim McMahon's got a great opportunity out in front, as has this man. Fastest lap, exchanging hands here, and Ben is just going to hold it behind into turn number 1. He's been biding his time. He's got a much lighter car on the fuel, and now with DRS available to him as well. Could it be in the dry conditions that he breaks his duck after just over a season?
Look at Meraki, look, putting the pressure on Formula Kai there, trying to find a way through. Our championship leader knows this is so critical. He's got a route back into potential podium and maybe even a potential victory here in Brazil in the Creator Series. Kareem leads though, Tim Marduk in second place, Formula Kai in third place. He will have that penalty to serve at the end of the race. Believe it's going to be 10 seconds, so he's going to catapult down the order. A safety car was the last thing Kai needed at that stage, but it's what he's got and he's having to deal with it here. This is a case of Meraki will want to try and find a way through. Apologies, I've been corrected, it's 3 seconds for Kai, so he won't quite catapult down the order, but for Meraki, he will need to try and get this move done out on track. He wants to get a chance to get his way up onto the try and battle away for the lead though. Kareem leads from Tim Marduk and Formula Kai in third place. Lap number 65 has begun.
Kareem 17 trying to hold it down. Meraki thought he had an opportunity to get past Kai. How dearly he would love to do that with the penalty that Kai has. Big dive from Razin Jai. Down the inside at the centre S's, or was it lolling over? Just dancing round the outside on his soft compound tyres that are working extremely well at this phase of the race. Tuki now looking for manoeuvres as he goes to the outside of the Sina del Lago. Razin shuts the door to make sure that avenue is completely shut to the Red Bull driver behind. This massive train from 8th place down to Chesnoid at the back of the pecking order. You've then got the battle for the lead. 7 cars in that particular train. Kareem using the mechanical grip of the Mercedes to good effect, but round goes Razin, and it's even ruder proceedings from there. Got 3 but 3 wide through the left-hander. Ricky just dances round the outside of both Ferrari cars. Argy-bargy from the prancing horses, and now the Lean Green Machine will get to work. Now to try and retrieve some pedigree back. Round the outside goes Razin Jai. If he can plant the traction down, that will be P12 back in his favour. But he will feel very hard done by after what Tuki possibly could have committed. Through he goes though, or are they? Racing Chi, what a name. Got wing damage from that, says Razin. That is terrible, terrible news for one of the championship contenders going into this week. Lap 66 of this race, not long to go. And well, the gloves are most certainly, firmly, well and truly off.
They were always going to be off when there was that late safety car with only about 10 laps to really sort yourselves out. Tuki gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple track limit warnings. Meraki then in 4th place right now. As it stands, he'll take that last podium spot. But I know him, he'll want to take it out on track, and of course he'll want to try and battle for the front of the order here. It's not so bad that Kareem is leading the way, it's the fact that they'll have one eye on Tim Marduk, who's in 2nd place currently, and with his strong sprint run from Tim Marduk, gaining at least 12 to 14 places or so to get himself up the order, and almost on that sprint podium. It's a case now of he's in great form. Meraki will not want to see that gap rise too quickly, too fast here. Lap 67 here at the Brazilian Grand Prix. We ride on board now with Tiamat Marduk. So 2 leaders then on the lead lap, of course, with the hard tyres. And we'll see what they can do from this position. Formula Kai in 3rd place, then Meraki in 4th place as we make our way through in towards the next couple of corners. And off we go then. Tiamat Marduk still trying to chase down at this stage and making our way now through in towards the Ferradura.
Well, statistics, ladies and gentlemen. Both of these people, as race controllers, good morning, race control, welcome back. Well, let's put it this way for statistics' sake. Both of these two have had sprint wins this season, but not a full race win. Not in a decent amount of time. Kareem 17, the last time he won a Creator Series race, I can confirm, was that last race, the Mystery Grand Prix at Vegas last season. Tiamat Marduk, it's now 2 whole seasons he's been waiting for a chance at the top of the rostrum. What an opportunity this is. What scintillating satisfaction it would be. And he's remaining well on the coattails of Kareem 17. Mercedes versus RB. Big lock up for Kareem here, Kieran. It's game on.
Game on indeed then as we make our way through in towards the Costa do Sol. It's a big lock-up from Kareem in towards the first couple of corners. Now Tiamat Marduk with the DRS goes one way and trying to go round the outside here in towards the 4th corner. There is contact between them as Tiamat Marduk tried a bit of a switchback there. Didn't quite happen the way he wanted it to. It's still Kareem in the lead then with Tiamat Marduk in 2nd place as they head their way now through the Ferradura. Not many laps worth of racing to go now. Lap number 68 of this race. And we don't don't have many laps worth of racing at all. Kareem just has to hold on what will be a first race victory of the season, at least when it comes to Grand Prix. We already had the sprint race win earlier on today, so if he can make it 2 from 2 this weekend, he'll be absolutely loving it. The thing is, though, he's got Tiamat Marduk right on the back of him. A Tiamat Marduk who is well and truly in a fight for the championship towards the closing stages of this season. Then we're about to start lap number 69. 3 laps to go here as we make our way onwards once again towards the first corner. Tiamat Marduk not quite close enough to try and move then down in towards the first couple of corners.
Kareem's got no battery whatsoever here. He could well be caught out. Tiamat Marduk with about 70% battery in comparison. The light blinking on the back of the Mercedes. And is this the opportunity that Tiamat Marduk's been looking for? Round the outside. Space just about left between the two of them. It's a drag race now towards Ferradura. The same spot where Kareem managed to wrestle his way through, potentially in the wet. Tiamat Marduk does it in the dry conditions, looking for his first race win. 2 seasons exactly to the dot. And what a position he's put himself in with 3 laps to go. It's been incredible usage of experience, good saving of the battery, but the ball is in his court now.
It ain't over till it's over, though, because Kareem now will have some DRS then as we make our way down in towards Junsao for the 69th time. Back on the power we'll go. Tiamat Marduk didn't get a good exit out of that last braking point, and this is Kareem now who'll have the DRS wide open as they make their way across the activation point. Once again, Kareem will go side by side. He'll have to go the long way round in towards the center S here to make the move. He tries to brake later than Tiamat Marduk. They run side by side. Tiamat Marduk tries to take the racing line and can hold on just about in the Costa del Sol. But look who's joined the battle. It's Formula Kai. He fancies this one. Tiamat Marduk puts the squeeze on the Mercedes, but through goes Formula Kai into the lead of this race. Tiamat Marduk so focused on putting Kareem onto the grass that Formula Kai just scythed his way through and into the lead of this race. Yes, he's got a 3-second penalty, but don't take it away from him. What a fantastic opportunistic bit of driving.
Ben was hyper-focused on keeping Kareem behind. It doesn't matter about Formula Kai, of course. He's got the time penalty. But he was just blazing his battery on the straight. I was surprised he didn't do it when he was attacking Kareem that previous time around. Of course, it worked out in his favour into the Ciudad del Lago at the previous lap and the previous opportunity. Now it's Kareem's turn, maybe, to try and activate the afterburners. About similar battery. Kareem has it in his favour, though. He has the ascendancy by about 10%. Tiamat Marduk absolutely fine with Kai leading this race. In fact, he'll welcome that particular eventuality. Kareem can't attack, then he just overcooks it into turn number 1. And is that all the invitation that the Australian sensation needs? DRS wide open. Doesn't have to pass Kai, of course. He can just sit in behind Kieran. He's well on his way to his first race win in Creator Series in 2 whole seasons.
Well, he's got to get there first, of course. Of course, Formula Kai does lead, and now Tiamat Marduk just has to make sure that Kareem can't size him up for an attack here. into towards the closing stages. In towards turn 8 we go. We go through turn 9. Riding on board now with Kareem, who takes a slightly deeper line. Try and get the power down. And up towards turn 10. This would be a position to try and go for a launch, but not quite close enough here. And now the corners are running out. The corners are running dry. The kilometers are running down. The odometer is running down as Kareem takes the Creator Series live. He's trying to his best to try and close up as much as possible here. Formula Kai will be giving Tiamat Marduk a hint of DRS towards the line. Formula Kai takes the checkered flag on the line, but it's Tiamat Marduk who breaks the duck. The ducks go quacking. More than 200 days without a victory in Creator Series comes to an end. Tiamat Marduk wins in Brazil.
Absolutely staggering scenes. Look at what it means to him. The feeling of success had eluded him for so long. The top of the tree, he just couldn't quite reach it. But that will do it nicely. I imagine it's... And there it is, he says. I was about to say, we won't see some happy Australian sounds appearing on our screens. But now we do. It's been a long time coming, you feel. And the fact he did it in the V-Carb versus the Mercedes, that will make it ever more satisfying.
Wow, what a race we had. Dry to wet to dry. A late safety car just to spice things up. And in the end, TM Marduk let Formula Kai go through and use the DRS to very, very good effect. Of course, Formula Kai had that 3-second time penalty. That's why Ben was so happy to have him leading the race. But it did give us that lovely 3-wide moment down in towards the 4th corner. The cleanest driver of the day was that guy Vince. He'll get the bonus point for that one. But it's Tim Marduk who gets the victory here after 92 minutes worth of racing ahead of Kareem 70 in second place. Meraki does get the podium and keeps the hold and keeps a firm grip on that championship there. Alex Gillen, a late charge from him. He finishes in 4th place with that guy Vince in 5th. Matt 212 in 6th place with Formula Kai dropping to 7th place with his penalty. Ricky 03 in 8th place with Concept in 9th. TK in 10th. Razin Shine in 11th place. Safso in 12th. Dark Viper in 13th place with Chappers in 14th. And Chesnoid Gaming rounding off the points in 15th place. We had Lolinoba in 16th. Alex Can't Drive, the last of the finishers, in 17th, with Skyzy, Infratic, and Scotty Designs, by the way, rounding off our non-finishers.
Well. Thank you, gentlemen. That was exciting, wasn't it? I was genuinely tense watching that at the end. I don't know about you, TK, but that was so exciting, the battle to the end. And then we had Kai as the interloper as well with the 3-second penalty. That is Creator Series at its absolute best. I think you can all agree on that one. Where do we start, TK? I mean, we've got to kick off with the race winner. First time in so long, and he had to work so hard for it.
He really did. And as you said, first win in 211 days for a previous 2-time champion of the Creator Series. So one that is not unusual or unknown to winning races, but I think one that's had a bit of a dry spell recently, and it will feel absolutely fantastic. Not only to get the win, but to get it in such style there. It was a mature drive at the end to not try and get the win on track because he didn't have to go past Kai.
From Kareem's point of view, we obviously saw he tried the F1 2010 line going through Jingxiao corner. Do you feel there was anything else he could have done there to prevent Ben coming through, or was it just situational we just couldn't quite get over the line?
Overtake a little bit earlier in the laps, you know. Do you leave it that late and kind of hope for a last chance hurrah? Are you going to try and look back at that and go, maybe I should have made the move a couple laps earlier, maybe I shouldn't have let Kai go past? Because obviously the run down the Retta Riposta where they all ended up on the grass, that's probably going to be a changing point looking forwards.
And when we look ahead for the rest of the season, from Tim Marduk's perspective, yes, he isn't in the lead of the championship just yet, with Meraki spawning his way onto the podium. I feel like we hardly spoke about Jake throughout the race, then he turned up in P3, which is what vintage Meraki did in the Creator Series. How much of a confidence boost will this be for him?
Confidence boost? Probably on par with getting a podium. An ego boost, unfortunately, that's off the charts for Meraki. As you said, it's traditional Creator Series for Meraki. Does absolutely nothing all race, ends up on a podium.
100%. Well, I think we should have a bit of a chat with some of our podium sisters. And the best way to start is with our race winner. I think you will all agree. Our Australian ace, the wonder from down under, Tiamat Marduk. 23 races. It's been 213 days between your last 2 Creator Series wins. But from Silverstone to Sao Paulo, welcome back to the winner circle, Ben.
Thanks, guys. It's good to be here. It's been a long time coming. I had multiple chances to do it in season 10, and luck by whatever metric, we didn't get there in the end. But we do it today in the 3rd worst cast. So I'm pretty happy.
I want to go back to the wet weather period, because obviously in the early stage you built yourself a really nice buffer over the group behind, and then you had Kareem coming at you lap after lap after lap when your pace yourself was still really strong compared to the rest of the field. How was that period in the race for you?
Stressful. I was watching my race kind of disappear in front of me, but I knew Kareem was going to be quick in the Mercedes. He's the GOAT in the rain, basically. So he was going to be pretty unstoppable. But I was taking comfort in the fact that everyone else, like you said, was dropping back even quicker behind. So I was like, okay, I might lose the win here, but it'll be P2. I just need to kind of keep Kareem behind until we get to dry, and then it's game on again. And I think we just about did that. But the safety car came out anyway, so kind of nullified it all in the end. And we had some really good battles in the dry and in the wet. So I love that battle.
We did as well. We were watching. We can tell you that one for free. The safety car coming out, of course, did change the strategy up a little bit. You didn't have any medium tyres left to jump onto, and we knew the soft tyres are a little bit rubbish around this circuit. We saw that with Gillen in the early stages. Were you confident that the hard tyres could fire up on the restart?
Not really. The restart was my most nervous part of the race. Karim was waiting for some back markers to come through the field, so join the back of the queue, and we were at really slow speed. And then it becomes a traction race between me, a cold hard runner, and medium runners. So I was really under pressure. Like Karim got the jump, and then I was left exposed to Kai and the rest. So I survived turn one. Me and Kai were side by side. But once I like settled in and got the DRS the next lap, then it was all gravy. I was much more relieved after that. But that first lap was like so critical.
And in the championship, I believe you're 1 point off the summit at the moment. Now, you've had your title of being the only driver with multiple Creator Series crowns taken away from you from your old sparring partner, Alex Gillen. But if you could win the title this season, become the first driver with 3 titles, how much would that mean to you?
Oh, it would be awesome. I would love it. This is, why we're here. We're here to put on a good show and here to do well. So, yeah, I mean, I would love it, but there's still another 3 races to go, a sprint race, a mystery race next week. So, a lot can happen. I'm probably in a slower car now, so you can't even. There could be 3 laps to go, and the win might be guaranteed. But like, it's still. You just never know with Creator Series. Expect the unexpected.
I think that is the perfect way to sum it up. Ben, many congratulations. Back in the winner's circle for the first time in 6 months. Go and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
See you next week indeed. Well, what a storyline. Team McMarlock back in the winner's circle. There are many more to explore as well. And I think we should talk to the runner-up in this race. The first time was nice. He couldn't quite do it the second time. We saw the F1 2020 line through Jung Shao on the last lap. So close to getting the double, but couldn't quite pull it off in the end.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but from my point of view, I really enjoyed that race. Even though, I'm settling for P2, but it was a banger of a race for me. Coming through the field was tough. The rain, I love driving in the rain. And then, yeah, at the end, the Kai flying past us. I think Ben playing a bit of games there. I think the ending to that race, it had it all, really.
And I think the wet weather period really important because it looked like you bided your time early on. You got into a nice rhythm, started to pit them off one by one. Then when the weather came down, I think you were 13 seconds behind Ben. Chunks of time, every single lap taking out of. How confident were you when the rain was going down?
Well, of course, at first, you have to find your feet. There's no line there to tell me where to brake. So I have to just do it off of feeling and intuition, which is a skill that I feel like I've developed throughout the season. And yeah, once I got settled in, I could see I was pulling away from Lolly and I could see I was catching Ben. There were a few corners in particular where I was catching him a lot. And yeah, it was just use my knowledge of how to drive in the wet, use my driving techniques and just push, because I also knew that the rain was only going to last about 10-15 minutes. So I said to my chat, I was like, we have to make the most of this. And I think we did.
Got very spicy at the end. Really good battles to watch. I'm sure it was enjoyable for yourself as well. Do you think there was anything you could have done differently? Obviously, Kai was the interloper in that with the penalty, just getting in between and then eventually ahead of Ben as well. Do you think there was maybe something you could have done, or was it just a case of wrong place, wrong time?
I think it was a bit of both. I definitely think because Kai had the run on me and Ben anyway because we were battling. Maybe I should have just stayed behind Ben and not battled, and Kai would have been further back. But obviously, when I went onto the grass, I kept one wheel on the track, but I was also losing loads of time. And I think Ben also wanted Kai to come through because he had a 3 seconds, and then Ben gets DRS. So that was probably the deciding moment. So I could have played that differently.